Hi everybody, it's Cindy Fodor and it is Make It Monday and I'm with Stamp the Love. I'm excited for you to join me today. I have fabulous things to show you. Since it is our second Monday of the month, I am pre-recorded because I have class and I'm showing you my class projects. So stay tuned. I have three really fun projects to share with you. Um, yeah, lots of stuff. But before we get started, I just quick want to tell you, remember I promised that we were going to do a countdown to 1,000,000. So this is our first week with that, and we started last week at 38,000 to get to 1,000,000. That's how much is left. And so I'm excited to share that we are down this week to 37,000. And what that means is, let me pull up my little board here that my husband helped me to make. So this is our countdown board. And so this week, because we're at 37,000, I'm going to be able to open that box. And each time we get to the next 1,000 down to 1,000,000. This is it, guys. This is all there is. To get to 1,000,000. Well, I'll go ahead and open this if I can get it open. I might have to sit it down to do that. You know how these boxes are, right? All right, so inside of each of these boxes, there are two tickets. One of them will say what the prize is. So there's a little prize for somebody in here. And the other one will say who it's for, okay? So I do know what the prize is already. And the prize is the free Artistry sequins. So that's these gorgeous sequins, okay? And Artistry blooms. And the person who placed the very last order, I can't tell you who that is, but I will be, I'll post that on the link or on the description here as soon as I go back and check and see who that was. So I won't ever know probably who this is. They're put in there at random. And so, yeah, it could be somebody that placed an order last month or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, they're very random, and so somebody every time we reach the next 1,000 down will win something. Now, everybody has a chance to win as well. If you read my email, if you missed it, go back. Trying to think when it went out. About a week ago, and it just told you everything about my events this month, anything that's going on. It is a whole digest, trust me. But you can flip through it really quickly and see exactly what what you might be interested in. And so anyways, one of the things that I'm doing this month is that in addition to everything else that might be going on, for every $50 order that you place, your name will go in a drawing for a baby shot, little guy, okay? So one of these, giving it away free this month to somebody, lucky person. But to get in the drawing, for every $50 that you place, you will get in a drawing for that prize at the end of this month. So 1 month for that one. Okay, so I will, I promise I will post who won that so that you know. Also, as I show you the projects, I do have another giveaway, and excuse me, you will definitely want this if you don't have anything like this already. I'm excited. It's retired, so you can't get it anymore. But so pay attention, make sure you're posting, make sure you let me know, because it will go to somebody who posts on this post or on this video, okay? So even though I'm not with you live, I still want to see your little names in there, and I want to know that you're watching, okay? That really helps a lot. Okay, I think that's it. Seriously, go read the email, because I will mention as well, it's not it, I promise, it's not long. So I have a Stamps in the Mail class. Barbara and I have a class this month, and it is amazing. You don't want to miss it. It's from with the Happy Holidays stamp set and bundle, and so check it out. Really, really cool stuff there. That's coming up, and also my Christmas card Stamp-A-Stack deadline is coming up very soon. That's the last Saturday of the month, and let me make sure I can tell you the date right now. For the class is the Stamp-A-Stack is October 30th. Okay, so the deadline for that is the 16th. The deadline for the stamps in the mail with the Happy Holidays is the 23rd. Also, um, if you want to register for a retreat for a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, whatever portion of it you want to attend, you get to choose. It's a fun time the whole weekend, and I promise you, if you come one day, you'll definitely want to increase that the next time. Okay, so that registration ends the 16th as well. I'm done, I promise. Okay, let's flip over to my other screen, and this is the first stamp set that I'm going to be using. You guys know I love this Peaceful Cabin set, and I think you do too. And let me just show you the card that we're doing. This is a double Z fold card. Okay, isn't that cool? All right, so I will walk you through that really quickly. Well, not terribly quickly, enough that you can, will be able to do this on your own. Let me start with the big pieces. So I'm using basic gray, and this is 4 1/4 by 11, excuse me. It's scored at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2, so that you get this fold. Then the next piece that goes on top of that is Blushing Bride, and you can see I put the tag at the wrong place to score it here, but it is 10 by 3 1/2, and it's scored at 4 1/2 and 7 1/2. Okay, so that when you put it together, it looks like this. All right, perfect borders the whole way around. It lays completely flat to mail. Okay, now the inside pieces we're going to be using, they're using the Stamp-A-Ratus. I have everything set up on here so that we can just pop in our pieces and we can ink this up and stamp it. So I'm going to make sure that everything's pushed back against. Because it's a lot of pieces, and these don't have a base because the cabin and the tree cut the top, but they don't cut the bottom. So you can see it's open down here. So I definitely don't want them to move. So I did stick a piece of tape here, and I put a piece of tape here so these don't scoot. Some of these are already stamped, but this would have fit right in here. And I just have one cabin here to do. And let me stick this in here. What happened is I realized that I was going to have everybody do their trees, but I realized that we're using those trees to stamp as well, so on the card base. So I ended up having to stamp all of these ahead so that we could just use them like where we wanted to. Okay, so there, those two pieces are done. How perfect is that? Really happy with how that lined up. All right, so we're finished with that. I'm just going to scoot that aside. All right, so I want to stamp these pieces. Let me pull in some scrap paper here. Excuse me, got a frog again. All right, so we're going to do some background with the snowflake stamp, and I forgot to pull that out. So I thought I got that out. Here it is. Okay, it's here. It's always good if you have a smaller block, though. Let me pull one of these off, because when you have something too big, then you end up getting ink all around the edges, and that's no fun. Okay, so I just randomly want some snowflakes all over the place here. And I only need them at the top because it's the only place that they're going to show. All right, and maybe one more down here. And then on my other two pieces, they're going to be going this direction. And I forgot to give you the measurements for these in case you want to recreate this yourself. This piece is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And these are 3 1/4 by 2 1/2. Okay, these are the same. All right, so I think for these, I'm going to stamp the trees first because we're going to stamp the trees right on this. And I am just going to use these two trees. This is connected, but I only want to use 2 of them. So I'm going to put 2 of them right here. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. And maybe I'll stick them on the other side. Okay. All right, that's done. Now let's go back to our snowflakes and we'll just fill in a few snowflakes in here. I don't know about you, but I really love these colors. I love how this goes together. Okay, let me just scoot this one over. I'm just being really cautious when I put this down because these snowflakes are tiny, and if you squish them too hard, you're going to end up with just a big smushy mark instead of all these cute little snowflakes. And I don't care if they go into the trees there a little bit. And I actually want them to go down to the ground here because we're not going to have a lot covering the ground. Let me go ahead and bring these down here. Okay. We could use a few more in there. All right. So finish with the snowflakes. Before I close that, let me just, let me think. Did I grab a Christmas saying? I thought I did. Hold on. It's not in here. Yeah, I thought I grabbed a Christmas saying. Well, what I have on here is wishing you the best. And I do have a Christmas saying somewhere, but I don't see it. So I'm not going to stamp that right now. But on our little tag that came from Stitch So Sweetly is going to be the saying. All right, so we're almost finished. We just had to put a few things together. Let me just close these 2 ink pads real quick so I don't make a mess. And then I'm going to show you how this goes together. All right, so here's the ribbon that I'm using is Silver and Petal Pink Baker's Twine. Okay, not available anymore, but guess what? I have one to give away to somebody who posts on here. I'm going to do a random drawing before next week's video, before next week's live. Next Monday night will be a live. So post, share, whatever, leave comments. Let me know that you would like to be in that drawing. Okay, so want to see lots of love, lots of encouragement, and yes. Okay, so here's where my cutout trees and my cutout cabin are going to go. Now I just need to decide where I want them. So my cabin is going to go to the bottom here, I think. And then I'm going to let the trees here. But I do want to show you that if I want the trees over here, all I have to do is give this a little snip. I'll snip it there. And now I can sit my trees over here. I'm going to keep them up here behind so they show a little bit more. Maybe over here. And then I can bring this tree completely over here. And I can separate them as much as I want. Okay? Now, I am going to pop them up. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to decide exactly where I want them. And I'm going to glue. No, I don't want to use green glue. I'm going to stick some glue here and here. And I want to just glue this to the pieces so that they stay right where they're supposed to be. All right, now while I've got that in place, I'm going to just come along here and trim that off. And now I'm just going to pick this whole thing up, and now I can put my dimensionals on. So let's throw a few dimensionals on here. I definitely want some in here. Want one on each of the trees. Okay, that looks pretty good. We don't want any sagging areas. So there it looks like it could easily sag. So I'm going to pop one right in there. All right, that looks good. Let's go ahead and stick him on here. Actually, I don't like how this edge comes out from behind. So I am going to still trim that down just a little bit more. There we go. I want the trees to meet the cabin. And there we go. Okay, now this is ready to put on the front of my card, on the front of my pink piece. So it'll cover my mistake here, hopefully. Okay, now we need these two pieces. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and tack them on, and then we're going to add the little fences to this one. And I'm just trying to make sure that these are all lined up the same going across here. Just a continuation of our winter scene. And then let's get some baby dimensionals here for our two fences. These fences really they just add a little extra touch. Okay, and we'll put one here, and then we'll stick one here. All right, so there we go. There's that piece. Now, let's go ahead and tie our cord. We're just going to put it around. It looks like I got these things everywhere. That's good. Okay, I'm going to go around this first fold here, just before the fold. And I want enough for a decent bow. In fact, maybe that little score line that was a mistake, maybe we'll use that to our advantage. That's always a good thing to do. Instead, we'll use that to hold our ribbon like it was supposed to be there. Ha-ha! Don't tell anybody, right? I love when things like that come together. Okay. All right, I need to get rid of this ugly paper. I'm sorry. That really does not help whenever you're trying to create something beautiful to have ugly paper in the background. All right, look at the shimmer on that ribbon. Isn't that fun? All right, now we're ready to put this on here, but we want to make sure that we only glue it where it's supposed to be glued. So if we put this down, you'll see that only the first half of this one and then the back of this whole piece get glued. But if I put this down like that, it will give me a good picture of exactly where I need to put my adhesive. So I'm going to put some here and then right along here. And then I can just lay this. I have to tuck this back in here. And I do want to close it before I press it down because I want to make sure that I have my nice border the whole way around. And it looks like I got it crooked. There we go. And I'll push that down flat. And voila. There it goes, guys. That's it. Now I just need my saying yet, but like I said, I need to grab my Christmas saying that I don't know what I did with. And that will pop up right there. Okay? All right, that's that one. The next one is, sorry, that was a stamp pad screeching across there. I'm going to scoot this. Don't forget to make your comments and let me know that you want to be in the drawing for that. The next one that we're due is this gorgeous piece here. I found this, I'm copying this from somebody. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was, but I just love, love, love. And Linda did this for me, and it just turned out so beautiful. Let me get rid of a few pieces of mess here so that we keep our station nice and clean, which I never do when I'm stamping. Do you? Let me know. Do you stamp in a mess, or do you always clean everything up as you're working? All right, we are using a lot of stuff here. So I'm using the saying from Pretty Pumpkins. So I do have that one, but that's all that I'm using from that one. In fact, that's all the stamps that go on here. So the saying from that. And we're using lots of colors. So let me just give you a picture of those. And I couldn't find all of my newest pads, so some of them are the older style and some are the newer. But we've got Cajun Craze, Pumpkin Pie. Let me turn this around. Sorry, this one's turned backwards. I put the other language, not that you could read it anyways. Mango Melody, Granny Apple Green, and Real Red. Those are the colors we're going to be using to sponge around this. Okay, so we're going to start with that. And this die cut piece is from Christmas. Oh shoot. I don't remember what it's called. Not Christmas. Mary something. Mary something. I'm going to line these colors up in order of darkness so that I don't get too mixed up here. So my oranges and yellows and reds. Let's keep the red will be first. Then we've got the dark burnt orange, Cajun Craze, Pumpkin Pie, Mango. Actually, did I use Mango? Yeah, Mango. And Granny Apple Green. And I'm using my blending brushes. And I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper again, my messy scrap paper. I just want to pop out these little pieces in here because I don't need those to be getting in my way. So let me just pop those babies out. Just little things that got shads that got left behind. All right. Okay. So we're ready to start. And I am going to use a brush for each color just because it's going to be used for a class and otherwise it could get very confusing. So I have used, so this is going to be the red. I think Cajun and pumpkin might go together. This will be the yellow and this will be the green. So maybe I'll try 4 and see if we can stick to that. Let's start with our lightest colors first. So I'm going to start with the green, and I'm just rubbing it gently around the pad. And I'm going to take a little bit off here just to see how much color I have. And it's not terrible, so I'm going to go ahead and strongly rub that. Okay. Oh, and I just saw something that I forgot to do, guys. I need to emboss and I need to emboss this image before I can. So, oops. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to run and do that real quick. Okay, I'm back. So this is the stamp set, Merriest Moments. It has stamps, it has dies, and then it has an embossing folder. So the piece that I just showed you that I started on, I stuck it in here and ran it through the embossing folder, and now it has all those beautiful textures to it. Okay, so now we're in business and I can keep sponging, and now it will catch all that beautiful pattern. And I'm wanting it to catch on this border in here as well. That's how I realized that it was missing, because I was like, wait, it's not catching on my beautiful rectangle design that it puts in there. All right, let's go to the mango next. And let's, where do we want to put that? Ooh, that's just a little, I forgot to check that on my, that one's pretty wet and juicy. Let's put a little bit of that down here. Go ahead and fill this in. Let's add some right here. All right, now let's do some pumpkin pie. I'll check that. that's not too bright. Where do I want my pumpkin pie? I'm going to put some right here. Okay, and let's put some right here. And maybe just a little bit right here. Oops. Wants to catch that leaf. All right, so there we've got our pumpkin pie. Next is our Cajun Craze and our Real Red. So I'm going to go with the Real Red and decide, oh, that's really bright. Really bright. Oh, that's pretty. Don't need a lot of that one, do you? Okay, I know I want my green a little darker. I may end up re-inking this pad because it's not as dark as I'd like it to be. It really needs to show up in contrast to these other bright colors, right? Okay, now we want just a touch of Cajun on here. Just going to get a little bit on that red one. And we'll just darken. My background is Cajun, so I don't want a lot of Cajun. I just want a little bit to just sort of bring those colors together. So I'm just touching some tips here. Just a little bit of Cajun, okay? All right, once again, I have to lose the scrap paper so that we can actually see what we have. And I think that looks pretty doggone good. All right, next we have another die that comes with this set, and it will fit right in here. And that's where we're going to put the So Thankful For You. So I'm going to use, I was going to use black for that, but you know what? I'm going to try Cajun and see how that looks. Let me try it in here first. That would be a good practice, right? Oh yeah, I think that looks good. Now I am going to put this straight on my grid just because that's going to help me to be able to eyeball whether or not this is straight. All right, I'm going to let that dry for a second while I close these pads. So I tend to, when I'm demoing stuff, I tend to be smearing everything because I'm rushing. So give that a second. All right, now our other pieces that we have are Mango Melody. So let's fold that a while. And then the Cajun Craze is cut to 5 1/4 by 4, and we emboss that with the texture embossing folder. So I'm going to just carefully try to put adhesive on here. I'm going to go slow so I don't tear it. And that's going to go right. And then this goes on top of that. And then when let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And then I'm going to tuck these gold pieces in underneath that. Now, the card is using the, my sample is using the gold paper that we got from Celebration, but that ran out. And so I thought that I would be able to get more, but I can't. So I had to opt for the next best thing, which is our gold and rose gold glitter paper. And I think it will be just as pretty. I'm just going to tuck that right under there, actually. Let me make sure I have this the same height. It's almost the same. My adhesive is coming out there a little further than I thought, so there we go. And then this one. It will look like it's going the whole way across, but I won't be wasting a bunch of paper that will be just like in an empty space. So we're just going to put it right to the edge. If you're OCD, you can measure up here to make sure that you are on the right, to make sure that it looks like it's going across. Excuse me. For me, I'm going to just eyeball it and scoot it down just a tad. All right, so we could leave it like that, or we could go ahead and pop this up, which I'm going to do because I love dimension. How about you? I love dimension, and I don't know, there's just something, it's just amazing to take something flat and give it a little height, and it just totally redoes the whole card. Now, of course, seeing it in person is different than seeing something on a picture because you won't see the dimension, but when I send this to somebody, they definitely are going to feel the excitement that that little bit of dimension gives. And we're not quite done yet. We have two more things. One is this beautiful ribbon that is Pale Papaya. And that's going to go right there. And you don't even need a ribbon for this card. It's so pretty by itself. But, you know, I love ribbon. So for me, it has to have a ribbon. And I don't see my ribbon scissors. Oh, here they are. It just needs a little haircut so that it fits on the card. All right. Now, last but not least, what do I need? Yep, jewels. We need some jewels. So I'm using our in color jewels, and we are going to just grab 2 or 3 colors. I don't care what color because I have lots of color on here, and whatever I have on here is going to match. So let's just grab 3 of those and pop those on. And we're finished that quickly. I hope you guys can see okay. I feel like I can't see well. But anyways, that's the second card. We are almost done. One more really, really cool card, guys. You are going to love. So hang tight with me. Let me just throw this stuff in my basket and we will get. Okay, here we go. So the next card is this gorgeous Northern Lights card. I just learned how to do this. Some of you probably have done this before, but this is my first time, and I'm so excited to, first of all, be using the Bear stamp set and then to try this new technique. So let me show you how I did that. Once again, I need some scrap paper because this is a messy one. Well, it's not really any messier. Everything I do is messy, right? Okay, I'm just going to fold that. Okay, so first thing I need to do is I need to make a mask because, well, I'll go ahead and stamp this and then I'll show you what I mean. Get my scissors out of the way. I feel like I need a much bigger space to work in when I'm playing with all of this stuff. All right, I'm going to stamp my, this is the Jaggedy Mountain Cliff. So we're going to ink that in Memento or any black or any, even if you want to do basic gray, that would be fine too. And I want that to be right along this edge here. Because I want it up there a little bit. All right, then I also need it on a Post-it note, and I am not seeing. I had them here. Here they are. I have these long Post-it, well, they're not really, they're stickies, staple stickies, and they're long because I want to mask this cliff so that I can get that edge. So I'm going to stamp this right on, hopefully as close to the edge as I can. And give me just a second to just trim this out. And the way I make my masks is I actually cut right on the line. I cut that very edge completely off. So if you look at this, you'll see, well, I'll wait to show you until I get this done. You will actually see the design on the piece that I'm pitching or not using. And this way, whenever you stamp over it or put your color down, you will you'll go right up to the edge, so it makes it nice and crisp. It looks very very much more artistic if you have a great edge and you don't have that white blank part showing where your paper where your stamp did not quite touch down in time. I'm not too worried about back here because the bear is going to cover most of this. So I'm not being quite as careful here. But I am going to just take this over to the edge. Here's what I wanted to show you. You see how I have all of my line is showing on this piece. And that's a piece that I'm not using, okay? All right, so now this is the piece that we need, and we're going to put this right on the cliff. And now I'm going to make sure that I see that edge. I want that edge sticking out. So you'll see the stamped image will be showing underneath down here on the white piece, okay? Want that all to show, okay? Next, let's see, before I put the black away, how about if we stamp Mr. Bear? And I have him right here, and I should have him on the Stamparatus, but obviously it looks like I don't, so let's see why I didn't do that. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't get that done yet. I do know I was looking for my Stamparatus, and I did just find it, so I'm going to try laying him on here. We'll see how that works. Because when you have a clear mount stamp that's not photopolymer, it's a little harder to figure out where it goes. That's not too bad. That's pretty decent. All right, we'll take it. Okay, so let me just fold this and get this out of the way. There's no particular order to a lot of things that you do in stamping. Sometimes at my classes, I will just say, like, you know, do this next. Not because that it matters, but, you know, but anyways. We definitely need to, before we can put our card together, we definitely need to get our color on the back. So let me tell you the colors I'm using. Again, we're using a ton of colors, so get your ink pads out. Daffodil Delight is our yellow. Magenta Madness is our pink. And I have my sponge daubers that coordinate with each of those, and I mark those with the color because you don't want to, looks like I got blue on that one. Just going to wipe that off a little bit. Just going to sit those up here and out of the way so that I can grab them. Okay, and then we have Soft Sea Foam. We have Pacific Point, and I got dimensionals everywhere. Misty Moonlight and Pacific Point, and Night of Navies for later. Okay. It looks like I don't have enough sponge daubers for all of that, though, so I'm not sure why. All right, so let's start with our Soft Sea Foam. You're not going to see this a lot, but it's going to be the background color that just makes sure all the white is gone. So we're going to start with Soft Sea Foam. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the mask, and I'm going to rub off the mask. So I'm just going to start here, and we're going to go up in a sunbeam fashion, because that's what the northern lights are, right? They're somehow the ice or the whatever is refracting the sun. I think it looks like I sort of cut this a little crazy. So let's I really would like that to be clear over to the edge, but it's not. It's sort of hard when you look at this cliff in the stamp to know what direction it's going to go. But anyways, all right, let's get some more green here. I want to like darken this a little bit. Looks like I'm pulling some of the black too. Okay, next we're going to do some blue. Let's do the Pacific Point. I'm going to just put that right next to here. Okay, And let's do the magenta next. Make sure I don't have any blue on that one. Put that next to here. And they don't have to go in order. I'm just doing that just because I'm dumb. Just because it helps to keep me not forgetting what color I want to use. All right, so we still have some to fill in here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do the yellow. I feel like the yellow mixes with the green here a lot, so I'm going to give her some of her own spot. I don't want to cover the green. That's the problem. I have all these beautiful colors and I don't want to like lose them in the mix, right? Okay. And last but not least, I didn't use Misty Moonlight and I'm not sure that we need it, but I need to fill in a space or two here, so I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. I may or may not use that for class. Okay. So that's the basic color done. You could go heavier with that for sure. I did not. I didn't go over it. You notice how I just basically did a little bit. I might go over the green just a little bit more. I wouldn't mind having that just a little bit darker. It's gonna, some of these colors are gonna disappear as we do the next step. Next step is to take the Night of Navy, and that's the sponge that I'm missing. Okay. I'll use Misty Moonlight. So for this one, I'm going to bring my color in here, and I want to color this whole edge. And I'm going to do that first just because that helps me to get my base. And now I'm going to just bring that color down as if the night sky is coming down around all this color. Okay, we're just softening all these colors now because it's nighttime. Usually the northern lights are seen at, I think, at night. I might be wrong. I'm not an aficionado of the northern lights, so don't think that this is anything scientific, guys. This is just art. This is just fake art if it has to be, right? It's just a pretty look, and somebody named it, and I'm copying it, and I don't like that dot right there, but that's what you get, right? When you talk too much. And I'm just going to go ahead and make everything a little darker here around it so that it doesn't look like it's not meant to be. Right? That's what we like to do, cover up our mistakes. And I think I like that anyways because it brings that darkness in a little bit further. Okay, now I'm going to keep bringing some of this in here. You see how it's just sort of blending those colors a little bit? Uh-oh, lost my mask there. Okay, I think I like that pretty good. Let's take this off and see what we think. What do you think? Does that look like fun? All right, now we're just ready to put together. It's not, oops, I wanted that for one thing. I'm going to stamp a thinking of you on our tag, and then I'll go ahead and close that. And again, it's not helpful to do white on white when you're trying to stamp something in a position. It's better if you have a darker background so that you can see what you're doing. There we go. All right, now let's close these ink pads really quick. Some of these are tight. Some of you guys know how hard these are sometimes to close, right? A lot of ink pads to drag around to class, right? Okay. All right, so what we need to put this together is this little piece, which is our icicles, and they come from the stamp set and dies. We also need some of this, which I thought I had a little piece of. These are our foam adhesive strips. And you know I love these for doing shaker cards. I'm going to go ahead and pull that one out. And usually I like to cut this to size for classes, just because if it's exactly the size you need it, it's so much easier. And now there's an edge around each of these, so I just need to snip that there. So I'm going to go ahead and place 2 strips, one here and one down here on the edge of this. I should put that aside so you can see where I'm going. And then I need 2 smaller pieces here, so I'm going to just measure those. And let's just cut a couple of those so they're ready to go. So much easier if you do it this way. And this is just creating a little raised window, again, adding that extra special touch. And one last thing before I stick this on, well, first of all, let's go ahead and stick this on so it's in place. Whoops, I just pulled some of that paper off again. I hate when I do that. And I don't know what makes it, like, it just happens every once in a while, and it's like, why did it wasn't even embossed or anything. All right, I'm going to just sit this right in the center here. Okay. And next I want to put my icicles hanging down from this frame. So right up here is where the icicles are going to go. So I'm just going to put a little bit of green glue right in here. Oops. And just stick them in there. Then they're going to be raised as well, which is really cool. It'll look like they're hanging from the top of a cliff or something. All right, while that dries, let's go ahead and peel these off, and then we'll be ready to set that in place. Hopefully that's good to go. Did I get enough glue over there? Looks like I could use just a teach out here at the end. There you go. All right, are you good? Let's go ahead and line this up around our white piece, or a stamped piece, I should say. It's not all white. Colorful, right? I should say the colorful piece. All right, so there we have our gorgeous frame. It looks like we're looking out into a cliff. And then we just have to stick Mr. Bear up here. I'm going to put him right on the frame, but I'm going to want to pop him up here. So I'm going to stick a dimensional or 2 behind him, just so that his body is also popped up. And we'll just put a little glue right here on his feet. And there you go. And then last but not least, we have our tag already stamped. And I'm going to just do a little flag here on the end. Not using my punch. And then decide where I'm just going to snip that so it goes right to the edge of... Ooh, I don't want that in there, do I? Okay, hopefully I got that out. Again, I'm going to add a dimensional here. Actually, I'm going to do 2 because those strips are just a little higher than our dimensionals are. And then I'm going to put a little bit of green glue right here where it's going to attach to my frame. I have that straight. Just have to hold that down for a second. For some reason, it doesn't want to stay. Okay, so that is it, guys. That's the bear card and the Northern Lights. So let me see. Let's look at this. The only difference that I did is I used Mango Melody in this one, and it really does make a difference. But I needed it for the other card, so I may go back and change the Daffodil Delight to Mango Melody just because I love the brightness of this color. It's amazing how much different they are. Yeah, and I probably made it a little heavier too. So that is it. If you want these projects and you cannot attend class, you may place an order online using the host code that's right up here at the top, TGWHPEA2. And if your order's over $40, you will get these projects mailed to you. It has to be this month. And don't forget that when your order bumps to 50, then you also get your name in the drawing for the mini stamp, the cut and emboss, mini cut and emboss. Okay, that is it, guys. Thanks for joining me. I will see you next week.